Access to Assistive Technology and Medical Devices Unit, World Health Organization. Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, Founder Chairman of Kevin Care. Mr. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman and Managing Director of Cyber Media. Professor Ashok Junjunwala, President of IIT Madras Research Park and IIT Madras Incubation Cell. Professor Balakrishnan, Honorary Professor, IIT Delhi. And Dr. Namita Jacob, Chetana Trust, Chennai.
Yep.
Empower is India's foremost assistive technology conference, bringing together the brightest minds across industry and academia to share their expertise, inspire individuals, and collaborate towards a stronger, innovation-driven assistive technology ecosystem in India. The conference is also in alignment with IIT Madras Research Park's ambitious 10x goal of making India a leader in the field of assistive technology for persons with disabilities and geriatrics. I sincerely thank each and every one of you here who has traveled from near and far to make it to this event today. I would like to invite Professor Ashok Junjunwala, a man who needs no introduction. He has revolutionized the telecommunications industry, EV industry in India, and has conceptualized the research park, India's first university-based research park. I welcome sir to give the welcome speech and welcome the gathering here.
Thank you very much for coming here. I was told about Empower a few months back. It started at IIT Delhi. I had moved to Bangalore, and then I had gone virtual during COVID. As soon as I heard about it, we said we would like to host it this year. And we would like to make it a big event. The reason is, this is one area, assistive technology. Driving affordable and quality assistive technology, or what we are questioned as a DAQAT, D-A-Q-A-T. We have determined, the research park is determined to make India a leader in this area over the next decade. And we said we'll do anything that is required to make India a leader. The reasons are very clear. We are near the largest population. I think it is only a few days later we will become the largest population. We of course have large number of people who need assistive technology, both people with disability as well as geriatrics. We have one of the largest set of engineers in the country. There is absolutely no reason when there is a large need and large number of engineers, we cannot put some 20,000 engineers, maybe 50,000 engineers to work in this area and provide the best, most affordable, quality assistive technology for people with disability and geriatrics. So this is something that Research Park has taken it upon itself that it will do that. There are several faculty members at IIT Madras which have been working in this area for quite some time. Professor Mohan Shankar, Professor Sujata, Professor Anil Prabhakar, and several others who have worked in this area quite a bit. I personally have not done any work in this area. Therefore, my role in this is to become an enabler for those who have the passion and the expertise. In fact, to push them for larger passion and achieve the goal. Not just at IIT Madras, not just at IIT Madras Research Park, but anybody who is working in India. We will push them, we'll work with them to make India a leader. What is the way by which we believe we can really grow the affordable and quality assistive technology? And we only know one way of doing it. This is entrepreneur-driven approach, startup-driven approach. And we are going to create thousands of startups in this area. There are already quite a few in India. In fact, during this conference, Akhila will tell you, some point of time, we'll launch our first Dakar startup database, consisting of several hundred startups which are already exist in India. The problem with many of these startups that at least I have come across is that none of them are scaling. None of them are becoming 100 crore rupees per year revenue company. None of them are becoming anywhere close to 1,000 crore rupees revenue company. And we will not succeed, whatever mission we have set it up on ourselves, until we make them 100 crore and 1,000 crore rupees revenue company. And this is something that we will do. We want to service not just the India, but the whole world. That's the reason I requested the organizer of Empower that please allow us to have this conference. Maybe this will kick us off. Remember, please note that our determination to take this as a major task is only about 4 or 5 months old. We have got our people. I do not believe that it's so difficult to get people who work in assistive technology. We have not grown enough people in the country. And we decided it does not matter. We don't want to start telling what we have not been able to do. We have to just do it. This conference, we are very fortunate. There are 400 registrations. And over 400. And there will be keynotes, invited talks, papers, and Akhila and others. And Bala is going to give us good detail. We have a startup exhibit, 90 booths downstairs in D6. And we are going to inaugurate this soon after this inaugural. We will have a presentation by each exhibit in a room next to us, amphitheater, from tomorrow onwards. Each exhibit is going to make a short presentation in parallel to the main conference. We have poster papers downstairs. And we will have a presentation by each person who has done poster. Short presentation, again in amphitheater. We will have a student design challenge. I'm told that it has already gone on, and the finals of that is going to take place out here, tomorrow and day after. We have already partnered, IIT Madras Research Park has already partnered with 10 engineering colleges right now in South India. These are colleges in tier 2, tier 3 towns. We want to excite the youngsters there, young students there, to become entrepreneurs, to take up startups in assistive technology as well as in other areas. And fortunately, 90 of them have registered for the conference from these 10 colleges, 9 students, 10 students each on the average, and have come here. They are staying in our conference hall, which has been converted into a dormitory, and are going to be present here. Learn from all of you. I'm looking at them as future people who will tomorrow do startups in this area. We have decided, and Akhila is trying to do short courses. These short courses will be really short, 5 lectures, no more than that. Courses on Descartes 80 basics. Basics. We need to teach our students in a very interesting manner, in a short time, in 5 hours, some basics, what all goes wrong and what needs to be fixed with assistive technology. We will set up 80 build clubs where they will build small devices with assistive technology. And these will be almost like playing, but through this process they will learn, they will get confidence, and tomorrow do startups. we have done a huge amount of partnership in the last 4 months. I think I don't probably have to tell you this community about ATF. This is one of the strongest group pushing incubations in this area in the country. And tomorrow, ATF Awards is going to take place out here in the evening, and that is also being hosted along with the conference. We have another organization, Global Rainbow Foundation, and we will have a workshop of that Global Rainbow Foundation running in parallel in the floor below, what we call D6. This is D7.
Okay.
We have been very lucky to get a partnership with DataQuest and PCQuest. And they have promised a permanent grid on assistive technology in every issue of PCQuest from here on. And we have to provide them so that as to sensitize larger communities in the country. And we probably have to go to many more magazines and say, let's do some coverage on assistive technology. And finally, we have a partnership with NCPET, whose focus is on policy, and see that the right policies towards assistive technology really takes place. All this has been done with Empower in mind and in a relatively short time frame. But all that I can tell you, what you have seen, the work, whatever little that you see is last 4 months' work. Wait for another 12 months and you will see that all of you will be pushed. In one manner, I'm told by my people who work with me, I'm a very nasty person. I don't leave people. Once we decide to do something, we better do something. And we will make India a leader in this area, not because we want to boast that India is a leader, but really to serve even the people. India is one of the poorest countries. If we can serve people and provide affordable technology here and get everyone who needs this kind of products, we provide them, I think we can do this for the whole world. And that's what we will do in partnership with the whole world. We will do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof.
Sorry, I also want you to take an opportunity, and some of what I said may appear to be empty words. Go around the research park tomorrow or day after, if you haven't yet done it. Walk through the 6th floor or 3rd floor terrace. You know, this park has been built like a startup. It is not a funded organization. We built it like a startup. We took 400 crore rupees loan from the bank. We have paid the loan back with the interest, and we now generate a lot of surplus. We have created 280 entrepreneurs in this place. The value of these entrepreneurs probably will be touching 50,000 crore rupees with these companies. Our recorded value is about 33,000 crore rupees. This is something that we have done in the last 10 years. And it is with that confidence that I'm actually telling that we will win in assistive technology also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Ashok Jhunjhunwala. We are very inspired by your grand vision for this growing field of assistive technology in India, and we are proud to be a part of this. The Empower Conference has a tradition. The first 2 editions of Empower were organized in 2018 and 2019 at IIT Delhi Sonepat campus, and the 3rd and 4th were online conferences organized by IIIT Bangalore. I would now like to invite Prof. Balakrishnan of IIT Delhi to say a few words about the tradition of Empower.
First of all, thanks for giving an opportunity to little bit trace the history of Empower. So, let me first start by saying, somebody asked me, how does it feel to be in this conference? So I said, my feelings is exactly the same when you have a child and it's around 4 years old and want to now enter the school. So we are actually clearly in that particular position. Is going to the next stage, both the size and also the vision that Ashok Jhunjhunwala just talked about. All of these are going to be part of the Empower Conference as it goes. But what I would like to mention is that actually the seed for this conference, I don't exactly remember the year, but Anil may be actually remembering it if he knows. So there was a meeting in Ali Yavar Young Speech and Hearing Institute, National Institute of Speech and Hearing at Bombay. It's a very small event. So many of us went there with our own devices. And this was also the first opportunity we came across people in different institutions. Small number of people. It was a relatively very small event. And Anil Prabhakar was there, Anupam Basu from IIT Kharagpur was there, and a few more people were there. And when we met there, we thought that we should do something to scale up this area. But it remained an idea for very long, almost I would say a decade. Before we thought that we got the courage, we thought that the field is big enough and the people's interest is large enough. And we also have now the resources when this idea of Empower Conference was born. So 2018, we held the first conference already mentioned at IIT Delhi. And we also had a wonderful venue in the sense that conference and hotel, the stay, lodging and boarding, everything could be provided in the same vicinity, which made it very easy for people with different type of special needs to be accommodated in that venue. 2018 and 19 we held it, and then Amit at IIT Bangalore volunteered to host it in Bangalore, and we thought that we should travel south. Unfortunately, COVID struck and those two events happened, but happened online. So clearly we did not have. So one message I would like to basically give that as part of this inaugural talk is, please use this opportunity to network. If you have to think bigger, it's very important to collaborate. All of us live in our silos. We all have some ability, some special interest, special capabilities, special training. But very often we fail to collaborate with others and fail to build the teams that is required to scale. And that's actually extremely important in any domain and more important in this domain. More important in this domain because even making ventures successful, even making startups successful, you will need to network a lot. You need to collaborate, partnerships, look for right sponsors. And this is not an easy job in this space. Though, I think the needs are there, the sizes are there. Ashok has already talked about the need, the size of the country, and we all understand that. But please use this, and I already see that there are a lot of opportunities to collaborate with so many exhibits. Even when you are doing a startup, I had some, experience and some little success in startups in this space. I'm open to any discussions or anything that any of you have anything to discuss with me, feel free to approach. Please don't look upon your technology as something you don't want to even discuss with somebody. Please share with others, build partnerships, and together we can make an impact. Individually, it will be very hard for us to make the type of impact that we are looking for. So do network, do collaborate, be open to that collaboration, and I'm sure we will be able to meet the objective that we are trying to meet. Wish the organizers, obviously they have worked very hard, wish the organizers very success in Empower 2022, and make it as part of your calendar to be present in every Empower that we hold in the future years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Bala, for highlighting the spirit of collaborations and partnerships in the Empower Conference. We look forward to more successful editions of the conference in the coming years. I would now like to invite Mr. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman and MD of Cyber Media, who has also pioneered many efforts in the field of accessibility and assistive technology. He's the trustee of NCP EDP and he's a co-founder of the India Angels Network. I invite him to talk about his vision for assistive technology in India.
Thank you very much, Akhila. And, Professor Jhunjhunwala and Professor Bala laid out the entire thing which is required to be done in assistive technology. And so I'm really at a loss of words as to what is it that I should be talking about. One thing which is very clearly is that technology can actually close the gap. Unfortunately, the way technology has so far come in, it has actually increased the gap. And I think therefore we need to find the solutions through technology itself. Uh, what I mean by that is that, for example, if you have food delivery app, who does it benefit the most? It benefits the most people who cannot actually go out and eat that food. Okay. But unfortunately, if you make an app which is then not accessible, then you are defeating the very purpose. And therefore, technology itself has to find those solutions so that this gap can actually be closed. And really speaking, if I start looking at deep tech, and in the future world, when metaverse is there, and the metaverse, none of us is disabled. Okay. Everybody is completely equipped to do whatever needs to be done. And I think those are the kind of visions that we need to look at. Those are the kind of things that we need to do. And as Professor Jhunjhunwala rightly said, that to achieve that, we need to use the approach of startups. It has been very, very successful. We've seen the transformation that has been carried out in the entire country in the last 2 decades. And that is what is the acceleration that is required to be done in the field of assistive technology as well. And for that, it is very important to create an ecosystem. So, Professor Bala talked about collaborative approach. We need to build up a complete ecosystem. And this ecosystem means that yes, there are problems which are put before the technologists. Those problems actually come from the people who are from the community and who have specific problems that they want to be addressed. You need to be able to then work on various kind of innovative ideas, and then take those innovative ideas and create proof of concepts around that. Once you create that, and what that means is that you require some sort of an incubator. Once that incubation facility happens, then after that you require money to be able to scale it up. All right. And so you require an ecosystem where there are funding organizations which are available, which start providing funds for such startups. You require mentors. And mentors coming from the user community themselves, not just business mentors, but you require those mentors to actually be available at this incubator so that they can actually offer the right solutions. And then after that, you need to be able to test out these solutions. And once again, the community is required to be part of that entire thing. As Javed Abidi, the founder of NCPDP, always used to say that nothing about us without us. That has to be the kind of a thing that has to be done in this entire approach that is needed. And then after that comes the question of scaling up. So again, Professor Jhunjhunwala talked about that there is no company which has become 100 crores. So can we look at adding a couple of zeros to the existing 80 organizations which are there? I think that is the kind of an acceleration which is required. And if you look at it, right from the challenge to the tinkering, to the incubation, to the innovation, to proof of concepts, to testing out, to putting it in the market and scaling up in the market, a complete ecosystem is required, and that ecosystem unfortunately is missing. And I think that is what we need to work towards. And at NCPEDP, that's the other hat that I wear. At NCPEDP, we have now put out a proposal of creating an assistive technology hub and then have various spokes and so on. And I'm sure we'll require a lot of partners, to make that entire thing into a reality. And I'm sure this is something for which the time has come, and we will achieve total success going ahead in this. Professor Jhunjhunwala also talked about global ambitions. And yes, indeed, we should have global ambitions in this. We've had some great successes in the past. take payment systems, for example, UPI, digital payments, and so on. Uh, that has been overtaking all the other payment systems anywhere in the world, and is now the number of countries wanting to adopt that. And there is no reason, therefore, why we cannot do the same thing. One last thing that I would like to talk about, and that is in terms of universal design. This time, again at the NCPDP Universal Design Awards, with the emphasis, there were, and I did find a couple of people, award winners also here in this particular room. There were more than 100 applications. So this was the first time when we crossed the mark of 100. Otherwise, it used to be in, initially when we started 12 years back, they used to be very, very small numbers. They have been growing every year. But what is required is that we have to address this entire technology issue at the fundamental level, which means that every product, every service that anybody designs must have this element of assistive technology in it. It must be inbuilt in the design of the system, because only when you have the design being impacted by assistive technologies, and that is included in every design of every product that is made, that is when we will truly realize a complete sort of a solution to this big challenge which is there. Okay. So with those few words, once again, I would like to thank Professor Jhunjhunwala for giving me this opportunity of coming here. And as he said that, PC Quest and Data Quest, we'll definitely take this up, and every issue we will be focusing on these technologies. Thank you very much.
There's going to be a switch in Iceland interpreters. Thank you, sir, for sharing your vision for assistive technology in India and how technology can close the gap for a more inclusive world. I would now like to invite Mr. Chapel Kasnabis, the chief guest of today's ceremony. He has a vast experience in the field of assistive technology. He started off as the HOD of National Institute for the Orthopedically Handicapped in Kolkata. He founded the Mobility India Institute in Bangalore, and he's been heading the Access to Assistive Technology and Medical Devices Unit, World Health Organization. We're very privileged to have you here, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Professor Jhunjhunwala, Professor Balakrishnan, Dr. Gupta, all the dignitaries on the dais, and also in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen. Here, first of all, I thank the organizers for inviting me to give a talk today about the AT. It is my life. So I can go on talking any amount of time, but for the interest of time, I'll keep it brief. Professor Jhunjhunwala said that it is so encouraging to see so many AT enthusiasts in this room. Though number is not great, but still it's quite a significant. And I want to congratulate Professor Jhunjhunwala. You have really done a great job already bringing so many people together. 20 years ago, when I spoke about assistive technology in India, nobody believed me. So I had to leave the country to sell my idea. And 20 years, I went around the world and made a case for assistive technology. Here I am with my regional and country colleagues, Ashil and Amil. Both are here. Make best use of their presence. They are our future. Soon I'll be the past. So talk to them, work with them, because we strongly believe that India has a great potential to lead this sector. If India can be a global pharmacy, if India can be the global IT resource place, why India cannot be global AT resource place? Resource hub. It's easy to say, but difficult to do it. And you need lot of hard work to make it happen. From the WHO side, our bosses always say, if India, China takes the lead, you have to run faster. You have to be innovative, you have to be aggressive. Some people who knows me, they to call me as a disruptor, traitor, whatever name they have. But I do it with pride because I always think that we have to move very fast because we are miles behind. Now, when coming to the mindset, changing of mindset, still if I ask many of you, who needs assistive technology? I'm sure majority will say, those people with disabilities, that to whom you see quite often, the wheelchair, tricycle, or at the most, cane or a hearing aid. But that's the smallest portion of the assistive technology consumer market. Change of mindset, which is important. No industry will invest in this area unless and until they see the market opportunity. Unfortunately, in India, assistive technology sector has been seen or perceived as a charity issue, as a free addicts kind of program, benefit for some poor disabled somewhere in the corner of some villages, and give them a wheelchair or a hearing aid, problem solved. Actually, it doesn't solve so easily. I start with a number. If you ask anybody in India, they will say we have a 2.5 or 3% of people with disabilities, and then you go into the impairment groups, it will be very fragmented sector, very small. So no industry will invest if the market is not huge. But we know that India, the assistive technology market, India itself is 250 to 300 million people. But many people I talk in India, they don't see it. They don't know it. So we have to understand the market. If you don't believe me today, write it down on your notepad. Assistive technology is needed not only by the people you see or you think or you consider. It's needed by all of us, especially when we grow older. The elderly people, older people, every house we have some old parents or in-laws or someone. They could be tremendously benefit. They can have an independent, productive life. But you don't see them. When I go to the malls or in India, I don't see many people, many older people. If at all I see them, somebody is carrying them or somebody is holding them. But I don't see those things in Europe. People always will say, oh, it's a cost. I do not believe that India cannot afford a 2,000 rupees rollator for their old parents. Or install a grab bar, which may be 500 rupees in their bathroom or toilet. How many older people break their hips or they fall in India? We have to really understand why it's happening and what we need to do. The houses we construct are absolutely unfriendly to disabled and older people. So as you grow older, I'm saying this trend also in Europe, in the West. As you grow older, you change your house to apartment and ultimately old age home. Is this the life what we are all embracing? Why can't we think differently and think not for now, think 25 years, 50 years ahead? So you have to really look at the assistive technology in a much bigger, larger perspective than what has been told to us. And I come here, I talk to Pratik and all. I hear a lot of startups, very encouraging figures. But telling you, again, startups needs an enabling ecosystem. Not only ecosystem, enabling ecosystem. Otherwise, these startups will never be successful. And I request you, WHO, we said is a 5P principle framework if you want to make any product to a hit. The people center, people control, people steering the change. but it has to have a policy, products, personnel, and provision. These all 5 segments has to work together to make it a success. I just give an example. The day you can succeed in making insurance companies in India responsible for reimbursing assistive technology, assistive products, the whole India will change. Believe me. The same Swiss insurance agency, what they provide me when I am in Switzerland, they don't provide this when they are in India. Why? The same multinationals, when they want open the food joints, food shop, and all these malls, what they can do in India, they cannot do that in Europe or USA. Why we allow that to happen? So we have to really think about much larger perspective and take small steps, but concrete steps, which will be a game changer. You spoke about so many engineers. I'm very happy. We need engineers. But where my heart breaks when I see the health professionals and engineers don't work together. They have to work together. Otherwise, whatever you develop, whatever products you develop, if the health professionals, policymakers don't understand, they'll never buy it. You need to sell your product. You need your product to be used. And that engineers are not good in that. That's the other professionals. And you have to work together with them. And then comes to the service provision. Think of task shifting. Think of task sharing. Think of different ways of doing things. We are in 21st century. We have just launched the iPhone 2014, right? iPhone 14. Sorry, not 2014. iPhone 14 model. I want to buy one soon. So, but still the AT provision is 20th century model. Still we are talking about the same technology which I saw 40, 50, 100, 50 years ago. India has changed in many sectors, but that change has not come to the AT sector. So this COVID actually taught us many good lessons. I learned a lot from COVID. Every disasters bring new opportunities. So from the COVID, I learned that we have to think differently, we have to act differently to reach to the majority, to give the benefits to the majority. And that's what I am depending on many of you, especially in India. So my next step is, before I go out of WHO, to make a happy marriage between digital technology and assistive technology. So digital technology can make the assistive technology sector smarter and enricher further. So this is my next project, which will see that digital and assistive technology coming more closer and closer. Because digital technology can do 3 things. It can make the product smarter. It can take the products much more people, especially the people living in the last miles. And also it can help in the workforce development and also mentoring the workforce through AI and other intervention. So there's a huge opportunity in front of us. Make best use of it. I say knowledge is power, but that power has no power unless and it is used by the majority. It doesn't matter how much I know. It matters how much others know about the AT, what they are doing about AT. So thank you very much. It's a really great pleasure and honor to speak in front of all of you. Think differently and act smartly for future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. WHO's focus and leadership in assistive technology, I'm sure we will achieve the goal of improving access to AT for every single person with need in India. In partnership with Assistive Technology for Assistech Foundation, IIT Madras Research Park is launching the Dakat AT Startup Database, which is a novel initiative to aggregate all the entrepreneurs and service providers currently working in AT. This will be beneficial to all the stakeholders, including the end users of AT, to be aware of the already existing solutions in the country. It would also help us to identify the gap areas in AT and work towards addressing them. To launch this, we have with us today Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, founder chairman of Kevin Care, who, in addition to his entrepreneurial ventures, has also been giving back to the society with several philanthropic initiatives such as the Ability Foundation, Kevin Care Ability Awards, and so on. I request Mr. C.K. Ranganathan to launch the Dakat Startup Database and to deliver the inaugural address as well. Here are the champion forerunners in the field of AT entrepreneurs. And we hope this list keeps growing. You can find it in the 10x website of IIT Madras Research Park. Thank you, sir. I invite you to deliver the inaugural address.
First of all, I would like to thank Professor Junjunwala for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Professor. It's a very, very good initiative. I think also would like to congratulate Professor Ashok Junjunwala for bringing Empower to Chennai city. I think this is the most need of the hour. And so far, the last 5 editions have been happening outside Chennai. And this is very, very good. And IITM Research Park is much more apt place where the technological brains are, quite a lot of them are hanging around, entrepreneurs are there. I think fabulous initiative, and like to laud Professor Ashok Junjunwala for creating this ecosystem, though it's just due because of this conference and so on for a few days. But that itself is a good starting point. I have been associated with disability for the last 25 years. I am one of the founder member of Ability Foundation, which serves for the cause of disabled people. And we have, the last 20 years, Kevin Care has been instituting an award, Kevin Care Ability Awards, national awards for differently abled people. I'm very happy that this has been going on much more strongly. Coming February, it will be the 21st award. We are also, as a company, we have been giving back to disability in various forms. But one such thing is partnering with Freedom Trust, who are specialists in artificial limbs. And we have been taking it across various parts of the country. Every year we do. This is last 7 years we have completed. We have done starting from 3-4 places in Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Erode, Kanjipuram, Krishnagiri, then Haridwar, Assam, Mumbai suburbs, all areas I think we have been doing. I'm happy that one of the things that we specifically take care is we go to the rural, because we have identified in the city people with disability get a lot of avenues and opportunities, and they get a lot of aids easily available to them. But when you go to the rural, remote rural, I think it's not easy for them. So we have taken special efforts to go and reach the rural, and the work to identify people below 10,000 population. It starts about 3-4 months before and go and identify different parts of thing. Our people will travel and all media related things. We reach out so that we identify the right person and work out with them. The measurements, everything is taken before giving them. So one of the kind of this thing is lot of technological advancement. I'm sure you all would be seeing on disability, the assistive technologies that's happening around the world. I'm at a loss to understand what is done in India and what is done elsewhere, because so many things are happening. And I was just browsing Amazon and Flipkart. Quite a lot of assistive technologies are available at a price, different price point. I think that's very nice to see that it is. Earlier, I remember about 20 years ago when my mom was very old, wanting to look for a kind of thing for mobility. She was not able to walk. So look for a wheelchair with a battery operated wheelchair so that she can do it herself with less efforts. Nothing was available here. I searched, worked through word of friends and so on. At least not easily visible, even it was available then. And then we have to import one. So now I think that's behind. The battery operated technology is very much available on Amazon at an affordable price. All I would like to say is India is a country of 1.4 billion population. 75% of the population are living in rural villages. And unfortunately, the disability or the geriatric old age doesn't differentiate between the haves and the have-nots. So you need to reach out to kind of this thing. When it comes to affordability, I think the have-nots are at a receiving end. I would like to appeal to entrepreneurs that it's opportune time to start business for both segments, particularly the have-nots, and it calls for a social enterprise kind of bent of mind. Dr. Prahalad, C.K. Prahalad said, there's fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. If you think that you will make less money, I'm sorry, you'll be grossly mistaken. So I can say Kavincare as a company, we created this kind of company of a 2,000 crore plus size with the simple idea of a sachet and a 50 paise sachet. And our company, after inflation, we increased the price. When we introduced it was 50 paise and went back to 1 rupee. In the year 1998, when we went around the villages and realized the shampoo penetration was much lower, still only about 45%. And asked the kind of this thing consumers why they are not using. They say shampoo is good, I know it's the right product to use on hair, but unfortunately I can't afford. So we decided, okay, how can we make something at their price point what they can afford? So we came back with a kind of product with a one wash promise at 50 paise. It is now exactly 24 years since we launched in 1998. Still it is 50 paise. With 50 paise, we have 1 rupee shampoo sachets, we have 2 rupees, we have 3 rupees, we have 5 rupees also. Multiple varieties, different classes we have. But I can tell you that in the 50 paise segment, the last 24 years, even every year, we wash close to about 4 billion head washes per year. So why I emphasize this, there is fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. Please understand, big market waiting. Very, very big market. So therefore, don't shy away from that. Mass scale production, you will really make a big money here. And not only that, entrepreneurs, I would like to also say, exports, when you come out with innovative technologies, you make very, very good exports. The world is the market now. With Amazons and the Flipkarts of the world, Walmart now owns the Flipkart, you know. And you can make it available anywhere across the world, on all the kind of this thing formats. And that I think is a very easy one. If people are thinking, I've also been studying these kind of assistive technology based entrepreneurs. One such entrepreneur in Singapore who has been working with geriatric patients. has been exporting to multiple countries. Singapore is a small country. There in Singapore, hospitals they have been extensively using. But looking at the kind of, just started about 3 years ago, but exporting close to about 16, 17 countries. I asked them, how is it possible? Are you traveling there? The entrepreneur said, no, I'm not traveling. He's an Indian entrepreneur, by the way. I'm not traveling. I'm sitting in Singapore. I do all the kind of social media marketing, focus it, and able to create a market. And lot of now, if you look at Singapore, government has invested in them after seeing their kind of potential. Lot of overseas companies, venture capitalists have invested. Big time money is getting invested in them. It's just an example I'm telling. If the technology is right, it is, by the way, it's a AI powered technology. If the technology is right, I think a lot of money is pouring in. That's the point I would like to say. So don't worry about where you are, but look at the kind of opportunities available. The opportunities worldwide is what I would say. And what best place to start with? In Chennai, you are all here, and IITM Research Park is a fabulous place, and under the leadership of Professor Junjunwala, he has created a fabulous ecosystem. I'm sure this would benefit a lot. You want technological assistance, you want any kind of these things, all is available under one roof. Innovation, but keep one thing in mind, do not make a me too. So when I started off like a copycat with a me too product. Failed badly. So I realized very early, though my father was an innovator, came out with the idea of sachet, but when I started myself, I just simply copied. And about to sink, we as a company, we discussed and realized that it is important that we differentiate. So when we started differentiating, the consumer applauded us. No looking back. It was very much struggling in the initial phases, and from a 50,000 rupees per month sales, it went down to 45,000, 40,000, 35,000. We were struggling to give salary to our own staff. And innovation came when we discussed on this thing. We said, okay, we'll make a slight change. We made a change in that kind of change in the product. And within 10 months' time, we started touching 10 lakhs a month. And within a year's time, after that, the subsequent 1 year, we started touching 1 crore a month of sales. All it is because of innovation. That was a strong lessons we learned. So entrepreneurs who are going to start in this thing, do not make a me too. Please keep it in mind. You need to differentiate. You need to understand that. What is that? Why would somebody buy my product? Is a very fundamental question we need to ask. If you have a strong argument, yes, I have these plus points over some other products, and there is a compelling reason for somebody to buy, you have a winner in hand. My best wishes for all the entrepreneurs and to be entrepreneurs who are going to be kind of the students who are listening to this. If there is few people going to change and get into this thing, this will be a fabulous service to the nation and to the people and need of the hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us your journey and life experiences and exciting the entrepreneurs in this auditorium. I would now like to invite Dr. Namita Jacob, Director of Chetana Trust, to deliver the vote of thanks. Namita, along with her fantastic work at Chetana Trust in working directly with persons with disabilities and their families, she's also the Director of Enability, which is a company developing affordable assistive technology solutions for the developing world.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to do this, the best of all tasks, to offer thanks. I want to say that when, Professor Bala was talking about the past, the beginning. In fact, the beginning was far before that. Standing here in Chennai, I want to make an analogy to the ocean. If you stand on the edge of an ocean and you feel the waves at your feet, it's exciting, but the waves disappear. The foam just disappears, and you're standing there waiting for the next one to come. And for us, working with people with disabilities, and for people with disabilities themselves, innovation, assistive technologies sort of felt like that. Starting today, promised but not really delivering. The technology outdating, repairs impossible, everything just a bit too much out of your reach. Here, in fact, in Chennai, in maybe 2005 or 2006, we held the first conference which brought engineers, the engineering world, the ingenious, brilliant minds, and the world of people with disabilities together. In this conference, it was led by Vidyasagar. It was called the Silent Revolution. And we had a parallel track. In fact, the conference focused on people with disabilities, their families, and all the issues that surrounded their lives. But as a parallel track, we offered a competition to the engineers, many of them students, some of them small companies doing something completely different, to come together and solve real life problems for 3 of our students. We planned for 3 days, with the third day being the award for the best idea. At the end of day 1, we had 5 ideas. The teams were so bored with having 3 days, they went and solved each other's problems. It just blew our minds that right here in our own city, this was possible. But on the last day, when we closed and we were putting things away, I broke down. I still remember this because it suddenly stayed with me. There is nobody who will see these ideas through. There's no one who will actually hand that solution to our students. That killed me. The meeting that was held at Alia Varjang was an attempt to keep alive that flame, to bring together many of the same group, some of whom are here today, which is very exciting. Bring them together and say, come on, this is exciting, this is interesting, this is meaningful. You have the capacity, can we not do this better? As Professor Bala said, many years passed, and the first Empower was so exciting. It was filled with exactly what we dreamt of. People coming together to solve, really solve, and to offer real solutions long term. With each Empower, I feel like the richness of the community that has formed has grown. And it's amazing to me to stand here today and see among the exhibitors students who had come as attendees in the first Empower. To see among the funders, the supporters, the companies, people who had maybe presented their idea. This is amazing, and this is because of this community effort. So I'd like to really thank, in many ways, the people who sit here on the dais represent so many of the groups that we need. Mr. Kasnabis, for making the time to come here today. It really fills us with hope. We know that you will bring to us, you will stay beside us, carrying all the knowledge that you have garnered over your years of work and travel, and perhaps take all that you're seeing here today out further into the world. Mr. Pradeep Gupta, to be able to save a space in a magazine devoted to technology is a brilliant way, not just to carry information out there, but also to bring in more minds, more hearts into this work. Mr. Ranganathan, at least for those of us here in Chennai, needs no introduction. He's been a long-time supporter of people with disabilities and the community that surrounds them. So it's been, it really fills us with a lot of hope to have you standing right here beside us, and I know that you'll be a part of our journey moving forward. Without the sponsors and partners, again, many who were there at Empower 1 are here with us still today, and many new names added. To the exhibitors, a great big thank you. I know how hard it is to cart everything that you have, to push things together, to make it work, to have 100 people in and out, seeing your work, asking you questions. I know it's exciting, but I know it's exhausting. Thank you for making this enormous effort to make this conference truly meaningful. To all those who were a part, innumerable people who were a part of making this conference possible, the organizing team, the local organizing committee, the big group of volunteers who I think have not slept for many days, thank you for your immense work. And to all of you participants, those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Welcome to a really exciting community. Those of us who returned, thank you for coming back. We really look forward to an active participation. Be curious, have many questions, have many ideas. Be active participants, because it's what you bring to the conference that inspires us to keep moving forward. A warm and big thank you to everyone again. Welcome to 2 more days of exciting events. And before I close the thank you, a big, big thank you to my interpreters, to our interpreters, the two who you've seen here on the stage, as well as Keshavan there in the audience signing to our deafblind companions. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Namita. That's the end of the inauguration ceremony. I request the dignitaries on the stage to take their seats in the front rows of the auditorium. We have one more keynote talk in the power of assistive technology, enhancing the quality of lives of persons with disabilities. I invite Preeti to give a keynote talk on her life experiences with assistive technology. Before that, here's a small visual introducing Preeti.
2012 என்னுடைய பிஇ கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் சென்னையில் ஒரு 2 கம்பெனி எம்என்சியில் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஆல்மோஸ்ட் கன்னியாகுமரி டு காஷ்மீர் வரைக்கும் சர்வீஸ் ட்ராவல் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். 2016 தீபாவளிக்காக வீட்டுக்கு வந்துட்டு திரும்பி ரிட்டர்ன் இங்கிருந்து போகும்போது எனக்கு ஒரு பைக் ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஒன்று ஆயிடுச்சு. பைக் ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆன பிறகு பெட்டிடன்லாம் இருந்தேன். ஆஃப்டர் சோல்ஃபீல்டில் நான் ஜாயின் பண்ணி ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் எடுத்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் எனக்கு வாக்கரில் ஏஞ்சி நடக்க முடியுது.
2 paraplegic girls I knew. They were cooking, they were cleaning from their wheelchair, but they were told that they are a shame, a burden, and a curse, and poison was left next to them, and they drank it and passed away. And I couldn't imagine all over India what must be happening. So I said, even if there is one person that I can help, then I'm going to do that. And that's how Soul Free started. Namaste, I'm Preeti Srinivasan. At the age of 18, I had been chosen in the top 2 percentile of the student population in the US. I became the under-19 Tamil Nadu captain in girls cricket. I had gone for a college excursion to Pondicherry. We were playing in about 2.5 feet of water. And I stumbled. I knew I was going to fall. So being a seasoned swimmer, I dove in face forward. Life as I knew it was over in that split second. Training 6-7 hours a day to being told that you're going to be a quadriplegic, you're never going to be able to move anything below your neck is not an easy thing for an 18-year-old to just absorb. If a person with spinal cord injury is given training in how to take care of themselves physically, psychologically, and from a socio-economic perspective, they can lead a normal lifespan. That's where Soul Free comes in. The government of Tamil Nadu has recognized the value of our work. They gave us a building. Today, we have successfully constructed a 20,000 square feet integrated spinal rehabilitation center. Inspire will provide holistic, integrated treatment options
இந்த இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட்டு சோல்ஃபீல்டு சேர்ந்ததால மட்டும்தான் எனக்கு இது சாத்தியமாச்சு. நெக்ஸ்ட் பேரா ஒலிம்பிக் கேமில் நான் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணணுன்ற ஒரு தாட்டும் இப்போ லாஸ்ட் 6 மந்த்தாக அதுக்கு ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
We need India to join hands with Soulfree and ensure that our ultimate vision, that nobody, no man, no woman, no quadriplegic, no paraplegic, that nobody is forced to commit suicide because of a physical condition they have no control over.
I would now like to invite Ms. Preeti Srinivasan on stage.
I am their poster child. Actually speaking, companies like Amazon, I'm so happy Amazon exists because it's actually a social enterprise. It's started by a person who was doing very well as an investment banker, who just decided to give up everything. At that point, it wasn't a smart move. It was an idealistic move to say that no, I want to ensure that people who can't go shopping can buy things. It was as simple as that. So I know when Ranganathan sir started the database, I know at least 4 or 5 companies. I know Dextraware that started the head mouse. They sent one to me and I tested it for them. I know Kickstart cabs. I know I can't get into a cab. I can't go anywhere in Chennai, in Bangalore, without a special cab that will allow me to go into the wheelchair, with the wheelchair. Something as simple as that, as being able to transport myself from A to B, is not possible. I mean, can you think about it? I have a request. Somehow I've been given the stage and I'm going to use my power now. I'm going to request all of you to stand up for a few seconds. Would you? Just get the blood circulation back in your legs. And then you can sit back down. Thank you so much. Seems like quite an audacious request, right? It is something so simple for each and every one of you. You stood up. You didn't have to think about the hundreds of muscles that are required to stand up. It takes more than 200 muscles working in unison for us to take just one step forward. What an amazing machine we have we just take it for granted every day. You just did what I cannot do, what all of us wheelchair users cannot do here. But every problem of mine is an opportunity for everyone else, right? And that's how Sujata ma'am came up with Arise, the standing wheelchair. All you have to do is push yourself up and you're standing just like everybody else. I have a wheelchair with which I can press a button and I can go up and make eye contact with anybody in the world. You know how good that makes me feel? It makes me feel like nobody has to look down upon me. I feel equal. That's assistive technology. That's what it can do for me. Without it, I can tell you what will happen, what happened to me. Before the age of 18, my life was like a dream. I'm an only child. I started swimming at the age of 3. I was a state level gold medalist in swimming by the age of 8. I started playing cricket at the age of 4. At the age of 8, I played for the senior Tamil Nadu women's cricket team in the playing 11. 30 years later, it's a record that still stands. I could have been called the prodigy, the Sachin Tendulkar of women's cricket. I was in the US. The 12 years of school, I went to 9 different schools in 3 different continents. I could have gone anywhere. When I finished school, I was in the top 2 percentile of the American student population. And contrary to what most people think as popular thought, I chose to come back. because India is the place where I belong. And India is the place where I want to make a difference. And I wanted to play cricket for India. So I came back. And a few days later, I went for a college function, an excursion, so that we could all go and have a good time. I went to the Pondicherry beach. I was playing in about thigh-deep water, playing with a lot of the other classmates of mine. I just stumbled and fell into water, into thigh-deep water. I have dived into water and started soul-free. Not every social enterprise, not every type of profit can be measured in dollars and cents. There are some things that are totally intangible, that you can't really put MasterCard, it's not something money can buy. And that's how Soulfree started. My only goal was to ensure that nobody is forced to commit suicide because of a condition they have no control over. Today, I can say that 2,000 families of people living below the line of poverty, of women being forced to commit suicide in other cases, are living and having better quality of life and leading a life of dignity and purpose because Soulfree exists. Soulfree is the best type of social enterprise. It's an entrepreneurship. Maybe it just doesn't generate profit, but invests in people, invests in their lives. It transforms their lives. Now, the Soulfree Inspire Center is less than a year old, but more than 100 people have completed their rehabilitation. They came in bedridden and they were able to walk away with calipers. They're able to walk away with self-confidence. They're able to walk away knowing that they can make a living, that they can be self-reliant from a physiological, psychological, and socio-economic perspective. That is what we're trying to ensure. And there are many ways these wheelchair users can be profitable, can be a niche segment even from an employee perspective. They can be assets to a company if we can just train them in the right ways. These are all ideas I hope will be taken up by many young entrepreneurs here, many young minds much brighter than me. So assistive technology, what can it do? Why am I even here? I was 18 when I had the accident. My parents gave up their entire lives so that I may lead a life of dignity. But my father was consumed. He felt guilty. He felt that because he was not there, I had my accident. It ate him up. He died of a broken heart. One night when he was just 57 years old, he had a heart attack. The next afternoon, he was gone. I was in my early 20s. I didn't know anything. 4 days later, my mother had a heart attack. I didn't know how I was going to live. Suddenly, I had to become the decision maker. I had an 80-year-old grandmother and a mother with a heart condition to take care of. That is when somebody actually gifted me a speech-activated software. I found a job. Today, I can challenge any of these whizzes that I can type faster than you with your fingers. So like our esteemed chief guest was saying, I have no idea why people still use fingers to type when you can do it at the speed of your dictation, right? So assistive technology is not just for me. It improves everybody's quality of life. Today, I can use a phone, I can answer messages, I can WhatsApp you faster than you can respond back to me. So it evens the playing field. That's what I want. I don't want your pity, none of us do. We want an even playing field, then come and fight us. So that's what assistive technology can do for me. It can give me back my self-respect. It can give me back my sense of self-confidence. It can give me back self-reliance to do things, to make me feel that I'm not a burden on anyone. I can take care of my family today because I have a speech-activated software. And I, who was actually rejected from joining a correspondence course, BSc Psychology, I tried to join. I was told, why do people like you bother? We don't have ramps, we don't have lifts. There are 15 days of practical classes. Don't come. I have a written letter of rejection. This is not to boast, but here is a person who completed school in the top 2 percentile of the American student population, who was denied a course just because she's in a wheelchair. But today, I feel blessed to say that IIT Madras has admitted me into their PhD program, and I'm perhaps, I don't have proof of this, but I think I'm the first woman with a 90% disability to join the PhD program of any of the IITs in their history. And this is thanks to assistive technology. It's because of this wheelchair. When I started my journey on a motorized wheelchair, my hand strength was so poor that my hand would go and get locked like this. I would go and bash against a wall and stand there for 5 minutes or half an hour, not being able to reverse out of that corner. Today, I live in a temple town called Tiruvannamalai, where there's a holy hill, and people walk around that holy hill. It's a 15-kilometer circumambulation. I can do that in my wheelchair. So it's not for lack of effort that people with disabilities are not able to do everything that everybody else does. It's because we are different. And if assistive technology can come forward to even the playing scale for us, then watch it. We are going to have a real match. And that's what I want, and that's what I hope all the efforts of people like Professor Junjunwala and Professor Sujata Srinivasan, all these people who are really, really hoping to transform our lives, it's possible. And I am here to show you that it's possible. I think that's what they wanted me to do. So I hope I've done a good job. Thank you so much.
That's a standing ovation for Preeti from the audience. Thank you, Preeti. We're very proud of your work at Soul Free, and I'm sure that you've energized the youngsters and technology developers in this room to work closely with persons with disabilities to develop user-centric solutions in assistive technology. We have now come to the most exciting part of the evening, the DACAT, or Driving Affordable and Quality Assistive Technology Products, is the motto of IIT Madras Research Park's initiative in assistive technology. And in sync with this, we have set up a huge exhibition with around 90 exhibit booths of 80 startups and organizations from all over India and from outside India as well. So we are going to have the inauguration of this exhibition downstairs in the 6th floor of the same block. Prof. Sujata Srinivasan, the head of the R2D2 lab in IIT Madras, will be inaugurating this. I request the dignitaries to take the lift and the audience here to take the staircase to go down to the 6th floor now, and we will have the inauguration of the exhibition there.